nestled in. If you're new here, my name is Jen. I live up in Maine and we are always nestled in. We're rocking our side part today. We got our mom jeans on and our old t-shirt because we all love to live in the past where we loved Tom Brady. We miss him. But anyway, I'm going to show you today a beautiful program that I've been using for preschool. Gentle+Classical Press is the name of that. You can find that at lifeabundantly.com, written by Erin Cox. We have really enjoyed it this year, and so I want to show you what it's all about. You are going to be using loads of books. You can find them at the library, or you can do an Amazon order and find all these things there. The author has put an Amazon list on her website of all the choices that you have for read-alouds and books that you can order. Let me show you some of them real quick. The Read Aloud Book of Bible Stories, the Ology, Everyday Graces, a child book of manners, the Children's Book of Virtues, the Story of the Orchestra. This was an extra one, Becoming Bach, because we study him. The Complete Brambly Hedge, Child's Book of Verses, making quite a stack over here. Classic Fairy Tales, Mother Goose, and Storybook Fables. These are just the books that I ordered from Amazon because darn you, COVID, you messed up my feng shui and shut my library down. So with the library closed, I had to order some and spend a little bit more money, but I did get them used and they are just beautiful picks. So I'm not sad to have these on my kids' library shelves in their own home. So they're beautiful, the artwork in these particular picks for like Storybook Fables, which is like, Beauty and the Beast and those kinds of things. And the Mother Goose pick, the artwork in it is just, it's lovely. And the kids just really, really enjoyed looking at that. I'll just show you real quick inside some of these if you're not familiar. So those are some of those. The artwork in the poetry book, the Child's Book of Garden of Verses here, is very cute. We really enjoyed that one too. Pirate Story. So those are some of the books that you would use. The program comes with a teacher's book, obviously, so that's wonderful. And Erin Cox walks you through the Charlotte Mason method, which for me was a good thing because I was new at this. I come from a more traditional background. My 3 older kids, that's what I used. I used more traditional homeschool things for them until the youngest of those 3 older kids presented with some learning disabilities, and then I did have to dip my toes in some different things. And but this became the diving into the deep end for me, for the Charlotte Mason method and also classical. So she walks you through some of that for her program particularly, but also Charlotte Mason's expectations and things like that, and then gives you suggestions on books to read by Charlotte Mason so that you really understand things, and I appreciated that about that addition to the teacher's book. Then after she walks you through all of those things like attainments and different things, there is a scope and sequence, and I will hold that up. You can take a screenshot of that if you would like, of different things. I'll read it real quick. You are going to do character and virtue, manners and hygiene, Bible, catechism, a hymn, math, artist, composer, art education, music education, poetry, stories, and nursery rhymes are all involved in this. And there's also an added program that is nature study. So that is in there as well. And at the back of this, there are planner pages. You can choose to use a planner page much like she has it already laid out in the program, or you may choose to use one of these, which are more blank, and there are several different ways to do it. This one has Fridays as activity and field trip days, and each day is laid out with a morning basket and different parts of it. But you may choose to do this one, which has your different days. So it would have a nature day, or an art and music day, a story day, and a free day. And there's several of those that are involved. She has, I just have pages taken out of my binder, ways to, the unit that you're on and the way to go about doing it in the second half of the teacher's book. So there's the first page, shows you what virtue, what manners, what hymn, what math, catechism, Bible story, and scripture you're going to do, what's your read aloud, what's your nursery rhyme, some note taking if you need to, what poetry, what art and music, and then the books that you'll need and any additions that you need to look up. There is art at the back of the teacher's book that tells you how to do the art projects as well. To set this up, you would use a trifold board, and this is also in the teacher's edition, how to set this up, organizing it. And you would take a trifold board, and I'll put mine up there, what I did, or any kind of board. Here they're just showing like a bulletin board, or you could use a blank wall, which we did that as well. We did a trifold science fair project board, and we put our cards on there, memory statement things, and then you would have that for them every day. And let me show you what that is. You would have some headings, and you would put the headings all on that you wanted, and these come with, and there are several different fonts. So here's manners and hygiene in a more cursive or italic, and there's loads of these to choose from, so you could set it up the way you wanted. Here is one of the first weeks. This is unit 1. So you would put these on your board like we have here, and this would be your nursery rhyme, Little Bo Peep. You would learn to count to 30. You would learn Vermeer, The Girl with the Pearl Earring, and About Color. You would learn I Honor My Father and Mother, and read from Everyday Graces, little stories that try to teach what you're trying to teach. They, reinforce. And the poem and the read aloud was the 3 Little Pigs that week. The Bible verse, be kind one to another. What you're going to read, the creation story, and from theology, God created man and woman in his own image. And that is the first week. So you could go to week 2 then. It doesn't have to be week to week, but unit 2. And this catechism goes with both units 1 and 2. So in whose image are we made? We are made in the image of God. These truths are the reason I purchased this for my children, because I want to bury these truths in my children's hearts. They may not understand it now, but they will, and then that will be there in their hearts. They will have hidden it in their hearts, and it will be in their minds, and God will use it in their lives, I'm sure of it. And so that's the reason I bought that for the catechism. I believe it would be based off the shorter Westminster catechism, and probably shortened a little bit from that because we're dealing with preschoolers here. And then you kind of have a affirmation there, I guess you would call it. We used it as something we say. I am kind. I have gentle words and gentle ways, and then it gives you a little tune you can sing it to, which my children really enjoyed. And then we used that, we still use that, if someone in my house is being mean to another child, it happens, I'll say, remember, you're not that way. You are kind. You have gentle words and gentle ways. So it, puts the power in the child's hands, which I really appreciate that. This week we would study a little bit of Bach, listen to that in the car or in the house while the kids are playing, and a little bit of music education about the instruments of the orchestra. Then we went to a habit. I can keep a tidy room. We worked on that for several weeks. We worked on keeping a tidy room, and then we continued to work on it, and it's becoming a habit now, and that's wonderful. Keep a tidy room. Another reason why I bought this. The poem is still Bed in Summer. We ended up memorizing it because we did it for several weeks, and then the read aloud was The Little Red Hen. Here's the verse, be kind one to another, still working on that. Then we read Noah and the Rainbow of Hope from the Ology, God created man and woman in his own image again. The Crooked Man is the story, and the nursery rhyme. Then we learned to count to 50. These are really nice kindergarten, preschool to kindergarten, first grade flashcards, and they go all the way up from the beginning sounds and writing of the letter like you would put in a classroom, a little bit smaller than that, so big flashcards. And there are several different ones for each letter sound, maybe different sections of the country, you have a different accent, or you just have a different choice. There's choices there for you. So if you want to put, say, books, that's up to you, or book bear, and there's several. Here's deer, but then there's dolphin. There's long vowels, eel. There's blends and digraphs, so that's why I say it will stretch, extend, first grade even, These are harder concepts, and I'll just skip through some of these. Oi and coin. Whoa. So the aw sounds. AW says aw, and aw and sauce, AU. So those are all included. It's a big old stack. The next thing that's included when you are doing your read aloud, okay, so say you read The Three Little Pigs from your memory statement board, you were reading The Three Little Pigs, and now comes the narration part. This is just the directions on how to put your things together, and you would get little figures. So here's the Three Little Pig figures. You would cut those out. You can laminate if you want, but this is a heavy glossy cardstock, so very well made. And then you would get a background and put it together, and the children can narrate the story back to you and then play with it. And my kids really enjoyed that. It was really fun. And there is a huge stack of those, again, that you'll need to cut out and prepare, but it goes with every read aloud. She calls it Wonder Tale that there is involved in this program. Included with my pack that I got, there are 3-part Montessori cards for the music education portion, the art portion. So you can see several of those. Those are some of those 3-part Montessori cards. That would be part of the math. So that is all included in another big stack there. Here's a beautiful addition. You get poster sizes of the piece of art for the artists that you're studying that unit. So here's a Vermeer. You also get poster size to put up in your schoolroom of the element of art that you're studying for that unit. And so these are just beautiful. And Monet, we studied The Girl with the Pearl Earring and had color. So those go up, and they're just beautiful. Another big stack of art and music and posters that you receive. So those are included and just beautiful. The morning binders, this is a kindergarten binder, another big thick stack with a schedule of what to put in what week. So you wouldn't put the whole thing in, but you would pick and choose or go by the schedule depending on how you do it. And then it's just a morning binder. Here is today, the day of the week, the month of the year. My little girl circled the date and the weather, and learned to write her name. How old are you? Your emotions, how are you feeling that day? And then we had some concepts, phonics concepts, and some handwriting that we were doing. And here's a little bit of math, making 10 and groupings of 2s, 4s, and tens, 2, 5, counting my 2s, 5s, and 10s, there it is. And we did the math concept of the sphere, and this is money. This set has been updated, so I did get a free link to update my set that I had purchased, and that is something that I have never experienced with any company ever yet. If they update it, you just gotta buy it again. She sent me a link to update what I had already bought, and I felt that was so generous. So here's a cute little piggy bank with some play money to cut out, and I just put it in a pouch at the back. I cut a slit here, and she's able to count money. That's the kindergarten one. Here's the preschool one that I also got with my kit, my set. And you can purchase these separately, and you'll see that on the link that I provide. This is the preschool one. So a lot of the same elements. Here's the date and the name, which I didn't put here because, you know, her age and her emotions. A little closer, and the weather and the season is there. This one is an addition, update, build it, and then find it and write it. So, and there's the numbers. So it has these little circles. What I did was I gave her Play-Doh or bingo chips or some little counters that I had, and she would make that number here. So if it's 2, she would only put 2 there, and then there's, you know, matching there. So that is part of it. There is pre-writing skills such as tracing, and then this is in the updated version. It's a little pond, and then it came with little fishies, which I put in a pouch at the back as well. So that's the preschool one. Let me just show you the differences, a little difference between the two of them. Here's what is involved with the preschool. So this is the updated version. First you build it, and we did Play-Doh and rolled it, or Wiki Sticks, or even my little guy used cars to make the shape of the A. So you build it, write it, and find it. So those, I put them side by side in the notebook like that. That's the preschool, and there is some color, things like that, and different things like that. That's about what the preschool looks like. As you get into kindergarten, a little more is expected, as you can see there. Okay, a little more is expected of them in the kindergarten one, but it's beautiful things, and definitely we loved that portion of it. I do want to show you one more part that you can order to go along with this. It dovetails with, it's another program. You can use it separately, but it does dovetail with this program. And we tried to do it together at first and found it too much, but my children are a little young for their ages too, so you may enjoy it. But this is the nature books, and this is Inland Waterways and Forests. Here's the teacher's book, and so it is a full nature study. So here we're learning about freshwater birds. It has tips, things to do like ant farms and growing your own butterflies with getting a kit for that. Finding wildflowers and learning to label and do that. This is what the teacher's book looks like. So it walks you through each thing. It shows you the core books, the things to do, and it's just lovely. And we are going to use this in our upcoming school year for our nature study. There are two student notebooks. There's a level 1 and a level 2. I have level 1. So here's the water birds. You would have a nature nugget to read to them, which is lovely about that, the water birds. Then there's some things to do. So copy work, a poem to memorize, notebooking pages. and the anatomy of a feather. Oh, that was neat. Your wildflowers to gather for that unit and study. And here's a really cute thing that is an addition. I think at the back there are some more pages as well. So there are things to cut and glue and things like that in your notebook. Those are included. And then here's something really, really cute. There's some paper dolls that you can play along with. And we haven't done this yet, so I'm not sure how those are incorporated in, but adorable anyways. Maybe you could use them like a flat Stanley. I'm not sure. Also, there is a nature collection notebook. So here's more notebooking pages where you would actually put your finds that you found in nature in there, so you can press your leaves or press your flowers or whatever. And describing pages, describe this bird. There's drawing. You can draw in here. So that part is the birds. Let's flip back. I know this flower, so you could put your flower in there. I think there's some they're blank pages. So this is and this is your collection notebook. That's an added program that she offers. What are the pros and cons to this? I think one of the cons, we'll start there, is that the language is just a little bit mature in the books that I found for my children. This may not be any problem for you. I just found it a bit old-fashioned and somewhat mature, but some people really want that for their children. It does make a very rich education if you're using that, and maybe that's something for me that I'm not used to, being new to the Charlotte Mason method. It may be something like that. So also for me, I felt it was just a little bit choppy to try to put together. There are so many elements to this program that I felt like there was so much. I was a little bit overwhelmed. It was a little bit choppy to pull it all together for me. But again, I'm coming from a traditional background, so I don't know if that's me or if you would have a problem with that at all. She does tell you how to organize it and everything. And then once you get things organized and rolling, it's not that big a deal. What are the pros? The pros are these things. These morning binders are astounding. I love them. I put my preschooler here and my kindergartner here. I have to teach this one to read, and I have to work with her, and it has to be pretty intensive there for a bit. That's just the way phonics is. And this one has got to be quiet, but she still wants to feel a part of the school day. So these were wonderful for that. And she felt like she was a part of it, and she was a big girl and had her own things to do. And then I could give her a little bit of attention and go, you traced that A so well, you know. So those are definitely a pro. So we loved the morning binders. Another pro is just the richness of it. I wouldn't have thought to teach that kind of art and music to kindergarten and preschool. I wouldn't have thought that. That's a pro. It's wonderful. The beautiful artwork, lovely. The poetry, lovely. I loved that. Teaching catechism was the biggest one yet. That I wouldn't have started it this young, to be honest. It's something that I always know that I wanted to do, but I don't think I would have started it so young. And the cards, made it a simple way to do it, and a little bit shorter than the Westminster Shorter Catechism. So definitely doable, definitely a pro for me. So the book picks are beautiful. Yes, I thought the language in some of them was a little bit hard to do. I wouldn't have chosen this teaching art for children to do that with the kids, because I felt, for me, it was a little bit difficult to implement. But, that's okay. It still worked, and it was okay. And so adding that art was wonderful. So the beautiful book picks is a pro. Just the overall feel of this program is deep and rich and lovely. You should check it out. So overall, we loved it. We've had a great year, even though we only made it to probably Unit 13. And I feel like we're probably going to start again and just start again in the fall and continue using it as morning basket time and things like that. So overall, it's a lovely program. Check it out. Give this video a like and a subscribe, and that helps me, supports me to be able to make more of these type videos for you. And we will see you in the next video.